Hey everyone, it's James from Fun Foods, and today I'm going to show you how to make a Mountain Dew pie with a Doritos Crust. Now this has been suggested by so many people, so thank you to all of you who suggested it. For right now, keep watching and I'll show you step by step how to make this. Now the first thing we need to do to make this recipe is to make our Mountain Dew flavoring, because I've run out. And to do that, you can do it very simply. I'm not going to make a syrup, I'm going to make just the flavoring. And I'm starting off with a small saucepan. I'm going to add 2 cups of Mountain Dew soda to that. I'm also going to add a half a cup of sugar. This is because sometimes when you boil down and reduce the Mountain Dew, it takes some of the flavor away, and this kind of brings that flavor back into it. So I'm going to put that in there. Take this over to the stove. We're going to heat it up, and it should reduce it to about half, and all that sugar should dissolve within the contents, and it should get to about 230 degrees Fahrenheit. So after about 5 minutes of boiling, it should have reduced to about half. Turn off your heat. Let it sit here until it comes to room temperature. For the next step, I have a bag of Doritos. These are just regular nacho cheese Doritos. And I'm gonna put them in this food processor. Now you don't need a food processor if you don't have one, no big deal. Just put them in a plastic bag, get something heavy and smash them into little bits. That's all you need to do. I've done it many times. So what we're gonna do is we gotta make a total of 2 cups after it's been crushed. So that needs about 3 to 4 cups that are gonna go in here right now of these whole Doritos. So I'm just gonna eyeball it. And put some Doritos in here. Close it up, and I'm gonna pulse this just to crush them all up into little fine bits. And we'll see how we did here. Now that makes about 1 cup. Good enough. So I'll do another cup. So it was roughly 2 1/4 cups of the crushed Doritos we have in there. So this one whole bag, this is a 9 3/4 ounce bag of Doritos crushed up to make that. So the whole bag, guys. Pour a half a cup of melted butter, which is 1 stick, into these Doritos. And mix this up really good. All right, so on this, I'm gonna use a tart pan, not an actual pie pan. You can use a pie pan, it'll work great. I just thought it would be neat to have something a little different. So I'm using, it's a very large tart pan too, because we're using a lot of this Doritos for the crust. So we're just gonna pour that out on there. And just spread it out really good. And even work it up the sides a bit. Now just put this in the refrigerator for about an hour so it firms up. Be careful not to touch the bottom because we're using a tart pan and it will mess up our crust. Now to make our filling for our pie, start off with a large bowl. To that I'm going to add 1 14-ounce can of sweetened condensed milk. Next, I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of our Mountain Dew flavoring that we just made. I want to make sure it's nice and flavorful. Mix that in really good. Now this step is optional, but since it's Mountain Dew, we have to color it green. And finally, we're gonna add 1 8-ounce package of Cool Whip. Now this comes in the frozen section, but you have to thaw it out before you use it. Just pull out that whole 8 ounces. And you just want to fold this in I'm gonna add a couple more drops of green food coloring just because it's not green enough for me. Now just set this aside, and we're gonna pull out our Doritos Crust. It should be firmed up nicely at this point. Just simply take our pie filling and pour into that crust. Now that's it. Just take this, put this back in the refrigerator for about 4 hours for it to firm up. After about 4 hours, your Mountain Dew pie is ready. We're gonna cut this up and serve it. All right, since we used a tart pan, I'm gonna push up the bottom and have it come out, but I wanna loosen up the sides first. So I'm just gonna take a butter knife and go down the sides. All right, here we go. Hopefully it works out good. Oh yes. Look how nice that looks. And for decorations, I am going to put some more Cool Whip right in the middle there. And we'll garnish it with a Dorito. Voila. Mountain Dew pie with a Dorito crust. You can't go wrong with that. Okay, so now let's cut into this and we'll get to see how it tastes. Now for the taste test, I'm gonna dig into this. I've had it out a bit and you probably shouldn't. I do suggest keeping it in the refrigerator overnight. A little more time in the refrigerator would have been better. Plus I have a lot of bright lights on this right now, so it is melting, but I'm gonna give it a try anyway. It's good. The Doritos crust is awesome. I gotta use that crust for something else too. What else can I make with Doritos crust? Well, thanks everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed watching me make my Mountain Dew pie with the Doritos crust. I really enjoyed that Doritos crust. I gotta figure out another recipe where I can use that Doritos crust in because it was really good. So thanks again to everyone who suggested I make that video. And if you enjoyed it, please hit that like button. Also hit that big red subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to get new videos all the time. And be sure to check out some of the videos I have off to the side. I think you may enjoy those as well. And until then, I'll see you next time.